EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the state of Florida and TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Minnesota Vikings and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The punter Logan Cook set to start the proceedings, and we are underway here in Jacksonville. Keneduagu now out of his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. A former Seminole back home in Florida. It's Dalvin Cook. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. They'll send a receiver here in motion right. Again, it's Cook. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Cousins able to find Jefferson here, complete. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Getting it to him in space pays off big time. That winds up going for 31. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Now an end around as Cousins will just pop this forward. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play for real after having worked on it all week in practice. They drilled on the play, then they drilled him.
Cousins' throw complete to his receiver, Thielen. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 21. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Now with the play clock down to 2, we're going to get a timeout here. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Cousins gives way to Cook, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
This is caught. And the Vikings are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
A lot of precision being shown on this opening drive. They've been methodical, they've been crisp, and as a reward, they're going to be set up with an early 1st and goal.
Now receiver in motion left. They'll look to run with Nwangu. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly sets his run and shoots through to make the play in the back.
Touchdown! T.J. Hockenson, a 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Vikings will claim the early lead as they're on the board first here tonight. Quite the drive there to get things started. They took up the bulk of the first quarter, and they end up in the end zone.
And I love your last point. Ended up in the end zone. Because a lot of teams like those long drives, especially to keep their offense off the field, right? Keep the ball away from them. But they finished it with a touchdown. That's the exclamation point. Now, flip it over defensively. They've got to slow that down somehow, right? Maybe they need to be a little more aggressive, maybe a few more pressures towards the quarterback.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10. Right at the 30. They go play action now. Lawrence eluding the pressure right. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. But Charles, did it seem like to you that maybe they were a little worried about his running prowess there? Because everybody kind of froze when he got outside the pocket, and they were able to throw it for the first down.
Absolutely, and you work all week getting ready for a game, and you know that the potential is there for him to run it, but you better take care of those receivers downfield. They can hurt you first.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Lawrence will throw. Man open, that's Calvin Ridley. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 22 yards there, a first down.
Well, that certainly has to feel good. It's not all the time that the play caller should get all the credit. Sometimes I think in the huddle, the quarterback just says, hey, who's going to make a play for me? I just need something right here. And the end result there, nice first down. Drive keeps moving.
And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
A give running right, Etienne. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. No gain on the play there, 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
On 2nd down, Etienne once more. And not able to break away this time as they're going to stop him right around the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of a yard, so it's back to 3rd and 10. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. That was a heck of an effort to stop him just short of the marker, but now they're going to need another big play on 4th down on defense, I believe, because offensively, they went from 3rd and long to now it's a go situation here on 4th and inches.
A chance now to get even before the break as they come up 1st and goal. And they'll run with Etienne. And just a short gain that time as they're able to get him down. He'll get 2 out of that run, and it's going to bring up a 2nd and goal.
Good work there, holding him out on 1st down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
Extra bulk up front for 2nd and inches. 3 tight ends. One more time with ETN. And this time he is in. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Jaguars are an extra point away now from tying this ball game. Well, nothing fancy there, Charles. You had 3 tight ends on the field. They were going to run the football. The defense knew it, but the defense couldn't stop them.
And I haven't met an offensive line yet that doesn't get more satisfaction out of running the football into the end zone than pass protecting. They had determination on their side, and they got it done.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. And the Jaguars are going to take possession of the football. But just a lot going on there in the middle of the field, and this one winds up a turnover. Yeah, the running crossing route here, and the idea of it is to get defenders confused about who to go with. But if you throw it too early, sometimes it's your quarterback that gets confused, and here he throws it into coverage and gets it intercepted. And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. Finds his tight end Ingram. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. Mark that as a gain of 16 to set him up first and goal. Creeping up on a minute to play in this first half. Now Lawrence. Forced out to, and they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line. Say hello to Eric Kendricks. He gets the sack there. Well, that's not how you hope to draw it up there on first and goal, CD, by taking a sack like that.
Well, they tried to be aggressive, didn't they? They didn't want to try and work their way past the goal line. They wanted it right there on that play. Unfortunately, it backfired against them. Now they have to touchdown Jaguars. Evan Ingram, a 9-yard touchdown grab.
And the Jaguars will take the lead here in the final minute of the first half. Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And that makes the score 14-7. After the touchdown, Cook now to kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And not a great return here. He'll make it back only to the 10-yard line.
Anytime you field a kickoff inside your own end zone, you've got to be decisive about whether you're bringing it out or not. Sometimes that indecision can really cost you. That may have been what happened on that play.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the locker. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense does cover this one, but back inside their own 5-yard line. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout as they stop it with 19 seconds to go in half number 1. The fumble on first down. Now here's second down. Give left side here for Nwangu. And the defense obviously expecting run as well as they're going to shut that one down at the line of scrimmage. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looked like even if he had opted to keep that, I don't think there was going to be much to gain.
Seemed like it was perfectly defense. And know what they say, those guys on the other side, they get paid too.
They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on third down. Play fake. Cousins. He's got a man complete. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see.
And that's a much-needed completion right there on third down. Really a sigh of relief, isn't it? They're backed up deep. You know they don't want to give the ball back to the other guys with great field position. They needed that throw, that completion, that first down.
Cousins now to throw on first down. There's Jefferson to pull that in. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45.
That is one heck of a catch right there. Got his eye on it the whole way and able to make the grab one-handed. Very nicely done and for a nice chunk of yardage, too.
And this is off target to the left. Didn't get there anyway. It's no good. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. From just inside the 20, a short kick. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute. But did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it. And afterwards, they'll say, there was never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
Now that after the sack, it'll be interesting to see what they have planned for 2nd and 23. Meanwhile, Lawrence's throw taken in by Ridley here. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down. An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Over the middle, he's got his tight end Ingram. Finding room at midfield. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That gain on 3rd down, good for 28.
And that's well executed there on 3rd down. And I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a 1st down.
And he'll get this down only to about the 46. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse.
The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. He couldn't get away. He'll wind up losing a dozen yards, a 12-yard loss, and it brings up 3rd. So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. Touchdown, Jaguars! Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good. And it's now 21-7. after the touchdown. Cook now to kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled at the 20. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, the opposition laid down the challenge and opening drive touchdown here to start the second half. And, Charles, now you feel like this group needs to get an answer because this all of a sudden is a two-score game.
Yeah, you're right about that. What was a small, manageable spread to overcome, a little bit more daunting now. I think you're exactly right. Pressure is on because you don't want them getting the ball back with a chance to really extend this lead out.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down. Cousins to throw it. That is caught by Thielen. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
Couple of first downs right in succession, and this is an offense that could really use a good drive, and they're off to a fast start here.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Cousins again. He'll rifle this one deep right side. Touchdown, Vikings! So a strong drive here to lead off this third quarter and gets them right back in this football game.
And I think we can safely call that a statement drive because they had to be saying, we didn't put our best foot forward in the first half, but we certainly mean business now. Maybe a better term, a prove-it drive. They proved it to themselves that they were ready to go.
Boy, it's only a one-score game. Third quarter, mind you, but they're going to go for the onside kick right here. Now a timeout called for by the offense. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And a short kick taken at about the 16. And he goes out of bounds after a solid return to the 45.
At some point, we're going to get it through our heads. Special teams, special teams, special teams. The spark that often wins games.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. So turnovers, Charles, you figure will be key in the second half, and that's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, and as you and I both know, coaches are always preaching ball security, and none more often than right here in the second half of a tight football game. Now you've got to believe what the coaches are saying and take care of that football.
Cousins now after the fumble recovery. And he rifles one incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
On 2nd and 10, Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Cousins going to bat it forward here on the jet sweep. So not quite a first down just yet as they come up on second and less than a yard. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he is going to lose yardage here. And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on third down. Now Cousins. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Osborne. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets it down to the 30 there. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
Some big plays in the passing game on this drive, and here's one out of the running game. So the passing game loosening things up. Now there's room to roam.
So here's a 1st and 10 now down inside the 20. Met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Tackle made by Devin Lloyd, the linebacker. Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again 2nd and 10. Cousins to throw it this time. Touchdown! Cousins able to connect with Adam Thielen. And the Vikings have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. So part 1 of what they needed is done. They get in the end zone. Now you have to imagine we'll see a try for 2.
And that's what the book says, but defensively, they can't hang their head right here. They've still got a chance to come out with the lead if they make a play.
Cousins will try and throw. And he's got it. The conversion good, and we are tied in the 4th. Still time to work with on the clock, but they wanted the tie now, and they got it.
And I love their aggressiveness. Go ahead and get it done, get the game tied. Now your team has the momentum, and you're staring across the field saying, let's see if you can match us.
From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. On 1st and 10, it's Lawrence. Flushed out right. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. In a tie game, 4th quarter, that's about as big of a defensive play as you can possibly make.
And it didn't happen by accident. That was scouting right there. They've seen things that have happened before. They knew in certain situations the type of plays they like to run, read it, and were able to go after the football, get it, and take it into the end zone for a touchdown for themselves.
Jaguars 21. Greg Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. From his end zone, here comes Agnew. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Jaguar football here as we welcome you back. They come up on a 1st and 10, desperately needing a score here on what could be their final drive. Now Lawrence on 1st down. And he will not throw it away. He goes out of bounds, well shy of the line of scrimmage, so that's a sack. A full 5-yard loss that time. It's going to make 2nd down pretty tough.
Go, go.
Lawrence. Able to hook up here with Ridley. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
That's a nice job right there, partner, because they were able to work down the middle of the field, working in the seams, because I think defensively they were guarding the sidelines, trying to keep him from getting out of bounds. They took what they gave him, and it was successful.
And he'll run straight into a wall of tacklers at the line of scrimmage. It's 2nd down. They're making steady progress, but I see your face. You're worried about that clock.
I'm worried about the clock, and at some point, you have to have a splash play in there as well.
Here's Lawrence. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. Daniil Hunter in there to drop him as that clock continues to run.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. He's back to throw. Completes it to Evan Ingram. He'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their 1st timeout as they stop it with 22 ticks to go in the 4th. So the big play gets them all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. Back to throw. Lawrence escaping the pressure right. Oh, that's going to be a costly one. It's intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. There he goes, left side. 20. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Little bit of a backbreaker right there. You're down close, 1-score game, trying to push the ball down the field and score, and you throw a pick 6.
And sometimes you take a little bit of a gamble when you're making your throws, right? Sometimes you press it a little bit more than maybe you wanted to because you want that score so badly. In this case, it cost them.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and the lead now up to 14.
Jaguars 21. Greg Joseph to kick off for Minnesota.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. Pulls it in at the 13. And what a return. Great field position all the way out to the 48 there.
There's no downplaying that we all knew that this was a critical possession. And to get a return like that to start things off, that's the spark that they needed. That's the spark they were looking for.
Down. Five. Hey, Echo. Look at me. Get her.
A final shot now for Lawrence. One last shot at the end zone. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. And the Vikings come up with a late turnover, but it will probably only matter to the statisticians as this ball game is now officially over. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. Just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.